It's a beautiful Wednesday, January 14th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful, award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, blackjack match, roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotion and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And the portal giveth, and the portal taketh, Ted.
Yep. That's the nature of things these days.
And sometimes it try to taketh and not succeed. Let's start there, Ted. Let's start with the PJ Adebawore situation. I haven't heard his last name said in forever. Did we ever land on anything? I know that the pronunciation guide says Adebawore. Adebawore.
I think it's Adebawore.
Well, that's not what the pronunciation guide says.
I know.
So he's just been PJ for 3 years.
PJ.
I know this. I'm glad we're not losing him. I know that.
Me too.
That Me was right, a very interesting situation. He's in the portal for a couple minutes, and then he was out.
Right. Here's what I think happened with that. I think that he had maybe reluctantly made the decision to get into the portal, was getting some good offers, and, got the process going for the paperwork over the weekend, met with the coaches, got it figured out, happy, staying at Oklahoma. But the paperwork was on someone's desk to be processed at 8 a.m. Monday morning. And that person wasn't in the loop. And you know what I'm saying? And the paperwork goes in. And it's like, oh, nope, pull that out. We're good. So I think that's what happened. But doesn't matter. He's staying, which I love.
I'm with you. And I know some OU fans may be annoyed about the 2-minute portal entry, and I get that. But something very similar happened with David Stone a year ago, and we all love the guy.
No doubt.
And one of the main reasons we love him is because the guy can play some ball, man.
Mm-hmm.
And had a really successful season. And I think you and I both expect PJ to have his best season of his career in 2026. And ultimately, you want to avoid losing starter caliber edge players at essentially all costs, right? And
no doubt.
They ended up working it out. I'm just glad that he's going to be on the roster, and I'm sure that he's going to be well compensated, and he will, and we'll all expect him to play at a very high level because of that. You combine that with the physical tools that he's got. Like, we should expect PJ to play some really good ball for OU's defense in 2026. But yeah, this is not the type of guy you want to lose. You can't lose starter caliber players along the line of scrimmage.
No doubt. And he's he's a unique case. Came in as a 5-star, right? Measurables are insane. And, he played some his freshman year and showed some flashes, didn't redshirt, had an injury-plagued season his sophomore year. His junior year was the first year that he played, and he wasn't a starter. So I think, a lot of the feeling around him is that, well, he's kind of been a disappointment as a 5-star. That's not my feeling at all. I think he is excellent against the run. Excellent against the run. long arms, just incredibly strong at the point of attack. Has gotten so much better with his hands and his feet, throwing guys, making plays at the line of scrimmage. The pass rush game is the part that needs to come, but he is excellent at what he does. And let's not forget that in our most important run of the year, the final 4 games, our Mason Thomas, our star player, played, or missed 3 7/8 of it. And guys like PJ are why you didn't notice much of a fall off. He was not technically a starter, but played a huge role on the edge. They had a really good rotation there, but it just goes to show like the level of consistency and the play that you got from him. Gotten a lot better as a dropper in the few times that we ask our edge guys to drop. He does a really good job. The athleticism has come around. He's been healthy, and he's a guy that is just added weight. He's still super lean, so he doesn't put a ton of weight on. But he played the season at like around the 265 number. I imagine just like naturally as he matures, he's probably going to be 270 pounds on the edge with freakishly long arms, incredibly strong. And if he can just up his pass rush game to get close to where he is against the run, he could be a excellent, excellent high-end edge player in the SEC.
Is he ever going to be a guy like that racks up double-digit sacks? Probably not, right? When you look at what he is, what he has been, and what he is as a player. Now, I'm not saying he can't get better, but he doesn't have like the natural twitch that some of the best pass rushers around have. I think that's fair to say, right?
I think he does, but whenever I watch him play, I think because he came in raw, I think the shock of the responsibilities that he has, I guess what I'm saying is like, he's a responsibility focused player. And I think because of that, he plays extremely cautious. And a lot of pass rushers, it's like, whatever, any opportunity I get, I am flying up the field and I'm trying to get home. When I watch him play, I feel like he is really conscious of like what his response, and it's just kind of like he's got a governor on, if that makes sense. And with all the experience that he's gained, if he can just learn to flip the switch and just go get the quarterback, all costs, every now and then you got to take some risks. And yeah, the quarterback may be able to get underneath and get out to the edge, or, you may take a chance on a rush and lose contain. Some of those things, that stuff's going to happen. You have to trust your other teammates to be able to cover you up every now and then. But I think he's got the athleticism to do it. But the thought of losing a responsibility has really slowed him down, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. But I just think when you compare like his natural abilities versus like Okoye's.
Yeah. He doesn't have the Okoye get off.
That's kind of what I'm
Right.
alluding to. Not he definitely. I mean, he could be a really effective pass rusher if he just really leans into his strengths. Like he is a bull, long arm, push pull guy.
Yep.
Like use your strength, use your length.
Yep.
You don't need to be out there trying to rip off spin moves.
Right.
Like I think, and I think I think with more pass rushing opportunities, as he gets more snaps as like a bigger piece of the rotation, likely a starter, not guaranteed, but I think that's likely. You should see the pass rush component of things ramp up for PJ, but ultimately he's one of our best run stuffing defensive linemen.
No doubt.
And
he's excellent.
And one of the keys to this defense having the season that it did in 2025 was its ability to shut down the run.
Yep.
And you don't want to lose that guy.
No.
You certainly don't want to lose him to a team in your conference.
No kidding.
So kidding. I'm really happy that they were able to work it out. And like we mentioned earlier, some people may be annoyed about how this unfolded, but this is kind of the system, man. And
this is business.
Ultimately, PJ's representation, like their job is to get him what they can get him. And I don't think any feelings are hurt at OU or anything like that. I think it was a very professional back and forth, if you will. So at the end of the day, man, I'm just glad he's on the roster because the guy can play, and he's the type of guy you don't want to lose. So it was a bit of a journey there for a few minutes, but hey, we got to the conclusion that I think everyone in Sooner Nation wanted to get to. PJ staying.
Well, the rumors started floating around that he was going to jump in the portal, and I was part of me was incredibly nervous, and the other part of me was like, "There's no way they let him go. There's no way. Like they're gonna do what they got to do to make it right because I think Okoye is going to be fantastic, but with Okoye is going to be a volatile type of player for a while, right? Like he's going to have some unbelievably impressive moments followed by some mistakes. And PJ is, like I said, he's so dialed in responsibility wise that you may not get a bunch of the loud plays, but you're not going to get screw ups. And that's big.
You look at the defensive end spot, you're losing R. Mason Thomas, you're losing Marvin Jones Jr. PJ feels like he's the natural replacement in the starting lineup alongside Taylor Wine at the other edge spot.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Okoye can really ramp it up and be the guy that starts on the other edge with Wine. But right now, like going into spring ball, PJ is he's probably running out there with the first group. So once again, you don't want to lose that type of guy.
No.
And we're not losing him, which is great.
Right. Yep. No, it's big. He's excellent at what he brings. I mean, I don't want to say he gives you stability there because I think that undervalues what he is a plus side player. He makes you much better on defense. The question is like, I think we know what we're going to get from Taylor Wine. We know what we're going to get from PJ. We know baseline what to expect from Okoye, just athletically explosive, all those things. The question is like, who else is going to step up and because that was what was so great about our edge position this year is just the depth that we had. I mean, it's rare to be able to play that many guys and not have really any fall off. So somebody's going to have to come from the pack and separate themselves and turn into a rotational player.
Wyatt Gilmore is a guy that I think kind of fits in that Taylor Wine mold.
Yep.
Just, hey, super physical, high effort, like that type of player. Let's not forget about CJ Nixon, man. When you just talk about natural talent and ability, we'll see how he develops. I'm excited to see what he looks like during spring ball. And then Jake Crail is a guy that this staff thinks can help, especially in just some pass rush situations from day one. So you're looking at, you certainly need 4. It would be great to have 5 guys you feel really good about throwing out there on the field that have different skill sets that can do some different things situationally. So that's where I'm sure that's where Miguel Chavis, Brent Venables, this defensive staff, I'm sure that's where they want to get to, is having those 5 edge guys that they feel really good about.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see Jake Crail. Like my first impression is he is a 2-minute drill pass rush type of guy only because, he's 235 and playing run in the SEC. Like, him and PJ are in two different worlds as far as being able to control the line of scrimmage. Like, those are not the same. Those are not pieces that are interchangeable. But he's got great get off. He's got some really good pass rush moves. And I think that situationally, he can come in and just be a terror for a change of pace for a tackle to all of a sudden start blocking him. And, his full, he's got speed rush. He's got a spin counter. He's got a bunch of tools to throw out there in the pass rush game. But in my opinion, until I get better eyes on him, I don't think he's close to being an every down starter yet. In a traditional edge position, how we've used him, like a stand-up guy on the maybe a little bit different, that's dropping into coverage, that's doing some different things. But as an every down edge guy, he's 20 pounds away right now.
Let's check back in August and see what he's looking like,
Yep.
Long time between now and when we kick this thing off in the fall. So we'll see.
I will say that I think he's stepping in right now. And I don't know. I think you agree with just technique wise and how he's been coached. Like, he's ahead of the game as far as his skill set to be able to play the position of what you typically see. You may have some guys that are physically, like size wise, how much they weigh, some measurables that are maybe a little bit more prepared for the spot. But as far as like technique and the tools that he already has, I feel like he's definitely ahead of the game there.
I completely agree. He's one of, from a pass rushing tool standpoint, he's one of the most polished high school kids I've ever seen.
Yep. Agree.
I mean, he's got quite the tool belt now. The question becomes, how many of those tools work at this level? And that's what we'll find out.
Yep.
I mean, we'll be able to get eyes on him in spring ball and in camp and just see how it's going for him. But ultimately, I feel much better about the edge room knowing that PJ is going to be in it.
Thrilled. To me,
you seem thrilled. You can barely contain
it's some
your
of the
excitement.
happiest I've been throughout the portal season. Whenever, I didn't think it was the issue. Then I was like, oh no, what are we going to do? This is horrible. And then nice and calm, feeling good about things now.
What do you think needs to be said about the Sammy Omosigho situation? It's a guy that you and I have both come to really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, he puts the statement out on social media, very clearly loves OU, but he's headed to UCLA. Like, it's just kind of the sport now. I don't know what else to say other than that. Ted, it is a bummer when a guy loves OU and wants to be here, and there's maybe just not, like, it just doesn't fit into the plan. Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah. And I wish we were still in an age where guys that are all about the program and have done everything right, have bought in, have done what's asked of them. I wish it was still where those guys stay and they're not just a part of the program for the time that they're on the field, but they become a part of the community. That's the one thing that is the most frustrating about some of the transfer portal stuff that's happened. But I think it's one of those situations where just because you graduate some guys, you lose some guys, and then it's like, okay, it's my turn. And, like, maybe there's more competition there than you expect. And you combine not a clear picture of being on the field and being paid as a starter with what you're getting in the transfer portal. And whether it happens or not, people are telling you, you're going to be our guy. We're going to pay you starter money. I mean, it's tough. Like, on one hand, you'd like to say, see it through, play it out. The money and all the things that you want are going to come. But on the other hand, it's like, it's, you may not have very many opportunities to go make the kind of money that he's going to make at UCLA. And it gives you a great advantage to be able to jump ahead this early in life. But, I hate it. I don't know that, I don't think anyone's necessarily at blame. I think it's just, the business of college football now. If you can get better money somewhere to go be an every down starter, you can't be mad at guys for taking that. Do you wish that they stayed and saw things out? Yes, but it's hard to really get frustrated whenever they have that opportunity. So I hate to see him go. I think he's got a chance to be an incredible player. He's probably, maybe not even probably, maybe clearly the most explosive athletic guy that we had in the linebacker room.
He is one of the best athletes, that's weird, was one of the best athletes on the team. It may be as simple as Cole Sullivan comes in, Sammy Omosigho goes out. Like, the days of having six guys that you're really excited about in a position group, those days are kind of over. Like, this is operating like the NFL. Now, yep. You bring a free agent in, someone goes out at that position group. It's just how it works, especially when you have to make the dollars and cents work. Yep. So I'm going to miss him, man. He was, I had the pleasure of interviewing him after multiple games in the 2025 season, and he's a joy to be around. And I will say, not to get too sentimental here, that's really not our style, but one of my favorite things, like when I started doing the radio broadcast stuff, was like seeing these guys grow year over year over year and watching them go from bumbling idiots in the first interview we did with them to polished and comfortable and like joking, like that development, not only as a player, but as a person. And Sammy Omosigho is a perfect example of that. And guys like that, like that number is dwindling, where I met him as a freshman. Now they're in a leadership role. They're a starter as a senior. I've gotten to see them, for lack of a better term, like grow up, become a man. That was really fun for Plank and I. And now it's just, it's becoming rarer and rarer, dude. And I don't know. It's just kind of a bummer. I don't know. I really enjoyed watching that growth, watching that maturation of these guys. And now it's like half this roster may not even know who you and I are, Ted.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. Yeah, that's kind of, it's hard in this era because I totally agree with everything you said. And probably to my own detriment, I'm like, I don't care. I want to go win with our guys. Like I'm an our guy, like we brought you here. You made the decision to come. We're linked forever. It's on us to turn you into the best football player ever. I know there's better players out there. There's bigger, faster, stronger. I don't want them. I want you. Like, I want to go win with our guys. And it's getting harder and harder to do that.
It's getting harder and harder to do that. Ask Clemson.
Yeah.
And to Jim Nagy in the front office's credit and Brent Venables and this staff's credit, like, they are, I believe all these decisions they're making, they think they're making the team better. and they think they're giving themselves a better chance to win games in the 2026 season. And it's just unfortunate that a guy like Sammy Omosigho isn't part of that plan because of how some of these things have worked out. So I don't know, the system's great. I'm glad the kids are making money, but a lot of this sucks, dude. I'm just gonna be real. Like a lot of it, there's a big piece of me that hates all of this movement. It's taking away a lot of what makes college football special.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine I'm the only person that feels that way.
No, I mean, just think, you know, how much time you spend with your position coach in college and the other guys in your position room and your whole team, like the bond that is created, like that hasn't gone away. Whether it's a 1 year deal where you've got a guy or a guy's there for 2 or 3, whatever, like those are real relationships. So think about all of the dynamics in that building when the transfer portal comes around. Guys you love, like there's no doubt that there are position coaches and players, a player's leaving, doesn't want to, but kind of feels like he has to because of playing time and money. Like you're just ripping that away. And it's happening in all across the room. It's an emotional thing. And, the NFL is kind of, you got your salary cap, you sign the players, you sign your roster, and it's like, sign it and forget it because we've got these guys. And then as you get into a guy's going into a free agent year, the wheels start to turn on all of those things. But in college right now, it's a yearly thing where you get to this time of year and every single relationship in the building is strained. Am I leaving? Are you bringing guys in to jump ahead of me in line? It strains the whole situation. It's got to be brutal for everyone involved, like just on the emotional side of things. It's different than the NFL in that regard, in my opinion.
I'm with you. With Sammy O going out, do we assume Kip's coming back? Still no announcement from Kip. We're still waiting for a decision when it comes to Owen Heineke's eligibility. You we got to have one of those guys to play next to Sullivan, right? I mean,
Yeah. I I feel really good about Kip coming back. Feel really good. Um it's not something that I I in my mind he's coming back. And I don't know if there's hasn't been anything concrete. I don't know that there's going to be, frankly, though, as long as it's kind of gone unannounced. But feel really good that Kip's coming back, which I think we really need. I mean, the kid's been here forever now, and he's a really important part of our defense and what we do. He's gotten better every year that he's been here, and I would expect that to be the same moving forward. But the Owen Heineke, not sure on that deal. And, I know everyone wants an update, but, I think Owen Heineke probably wants an update. This is one of those where you don't have a negotiation happening. You have a bunch of people sitting around waiting on a response from the NCAA. So you're just kind of at their mercy. And I don't know if there's an appeal or something attached to that. If you don't get the ruling that you hope for, we'll see. And I don't. You got to imagine the stack of those situations that the NCAA is going through is probably very long. So you just got to kind of wait your turn. But you know, of all the defensive positions, the one that is the most up in the air and the rotation that's has the possibility of changing the most is linebacker. So you feel pretty solid about everywhere else and have a good feeling of what it's going to look like and at least what your rotation or your pecking order kind of is going into spring ball, but the linebacker room is a little bit different right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, hopefully we get good news soon.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about a couple of these guys that the Sooners have added from the portal. But first, download the Loves app from Love's Travel Stops, your guide to savings on the road. Fill up for less with a discount on fuel, 10 cents off on every gallon of gas, and 25 cents off on every gallon of auto diesel. And don't forget, in the store, you can unlock mobile deals on the Loves app to save on snacks, drinks, and select meals at Love's restaurants. Plus, you can plan your pit stops for your next road trip with the map and route planner. All from Love's, the heart of the highway.
Steaks are back. Didi Ranch's luxury steak cuts are restocked and ready to ship straight to your door. From mouth-watering ribeyes to silky smooth fillets, this is the best beef Oklahoma has to offer. And here's the kicker. They're now shipping next day air for free when you use code SOONER at checkout. That's right. Next day air like Amazon Prime, but for steak. Didi Ranch delivers taste and tradition the luxurious way. Order today at DiddyRanch.com and get your steaks just in time for the holidays.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and the official drinker partner of the OKC Thunder. Simple Modern is selling these sick championship collector's gift sets celebrating the Thunder's first ever NBA championship. Banners hang forever, and these are truly one-of-a-kind commemorative items that you'll want to hold on to forever. Just use code OB35 for 35% off your order. Click the link in the show notes and grab one for the biggest Thunder fan you know. Just remember to use code OB35. And with 10% of all Simple Modern profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every purchase supports our community on and off the court. Simple Modern, good everywhere. Okay, looking at a couple guys OU has added via the portal. Let's start with Georgia State defensive lineman Bishop Thomas. Now, before he was at Georgia State, Ted, he was at Florida State and Colorado. So my man has seen, yeah, he's been a couple places, but he's a fifth-year player. He's got 1 year of eligibility left, and I'm going to start here. He's 6'1", 295. There's no other way I can say it. This is a bad-bodied dude. You look at him, he is not going to win any beauty contests, ever. But he's not the guy you send off the bus first.
Right.
He's not PJ, right? But the more I watch him, the more I realize, like, the sum is better than the parts. He's got really good football instincts, good block recognition, technique is solid, and he's productive. It may not show up in the box score all the time. That's kind of the world of defensive line, right? But he is productive. And I also think with his movement skills, like, I think he fits what Brent Venables wants to do defensively. He fits the scheme well. He's going to be comfortable with all the movement. He played every position you can play along the defensive line for Georgia State. So while he's not going to be a guy that everyone sees and goes, oh my gosh, look at that guy. But I think he is going to be a rotational piece for this team, and I think he fits the scheme pretty well.
Yeah. Those guys are out there. You know, the other team walks to the line of scrimmage and you're like, ha, that guy's not any good. And you're shocked by how they move and how they operate. Yeah. But, you know, I think my view is depth piece, rotational piece with the potential of some real upside because of the scheme fit, like you mentioned, and some of the movement stuff that we do. And you've heard he said that, you know, in the team's pitch to him that he reminds them of Grayson Holton. And that's kind of the piece that we're looking for, right? You know, we've got the big body guys, the run stoppers, the massive guys in the middle. The Grayson Holton edge that he added into that group is part of the magic that really made it go, because he was such a change of pace from some of the other players. So We need that, the quickness, the get off, the guy that can move and do some different things and add it's like whenever you bring in the reliever that's throwing the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, right? So just a good change of pace, and we'll see. I always believe that when you insert a guy that's a good player into a position group that's got a high level, he will accelerate up to that level, close to that level, really quickly. And I hope that's going to be the case with Bishop.
That's a good point because, and people may not realize this, this guy played in arguably the worst defense in college football. Georgia State was terrible on defense. I think they were like SP plus 134 on defense. You get him into the environment that Brent Venables has created at Oklahoma when it comes to defense, and I'm just assuming we're going to get more out of him.
Yep.
I don't think playing in a defense that struggled as much as Georgia State struggled, that's not where you reach your peak level as a player. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that may be a bit of an adjustment for Bishop Thomas, but one thing I really like, pretty much every play on tape, the dude is flying around. Great effort, always running to the ball. He runs and moves well, but he is a guy that I don't think they're going to have to say, hey, man, you need to play harder. It's kind of already what he does. Some of my notes, like he's got solid hands, solid pad level. I think he's a decent pass rusher. He displays some good power, has some nice inside counter moves. But I don't think he's a guy that's all of a sudden going to come and rack up like 8 sacks as an interior defensive lineman. But he's good at all the twist stuff. The ETs, the TEs, the 3-man twists. Like I think he looks good. And they did some of that in their defense this year at Georgia State. The one area of improvement you need to see is like he gets displaced too far too often in the run game. Going back to the Halton comparison, like once Grayson figured that piece out, once he added the weight, added the strength, and could play the run at a higher level, that's when he took off as a player.
Yep.
So I know that he's only got Bishop Thomas only has 1 year of eligibility left, but that's an area of his game he needs to improve. He needs to anchor better in the run game, especially against double teams. And if he can do that, I think he's going to be a guy you see on the field quite a bit for us in 2026.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, I think that if you're 6'1", like that's not the measurables that everyone wants at that position, but you have to turn it into an advantage for you. And you have to play with great pad level and be able to anchor and use, the squatty nature to use a bad term, I guess, of your build to be able to anchor and be like the fire hydrant player that plays incredibly low and is tough to move out of there. Because if you're going to be 295, he ain't 325, 330 like Jaden Jackson's going to be. Jaden Jackson, the way he plays is going to look a little bit different than what you do. You have to really dial in on all the key techniques and the pad level and the hand placement, and you've got to be perfect in that regard, or you're just, physics is physics, right? You're going to get carved out of there really easy if you get high on a snap. So just attention to detail. And like I said, hopefully he comes up to that level and becomes a consistent player.
I also think looking at like the overall strategy of the room in the defensive line, like this allows you maybe to be a little more patient with a guy like Trent Wilson and a little more patient with a guy like Kenny Ozowalu, who I think there's going to be like this development phase as he really transitions to being a true interior defensive lineman. So I think this gives you a guy that's played a ton of ball, that can be productive, that can be a nice rotational piece, and maybe allows you not to have to throw some of these young guys that need a little more development onto the on the field for too many snaps, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think you can get Bishop from here to here pretty quickly. It may take some time because I think you can get Wazulu from here to wherever up there, and that may take a little bit more time.
You're really going to struggle with Ozawalu, I can tell.
Ozawalu.
It's going to
be wrong
be
emphasis on the wrong syllable.
It's going to be I think you just put wrong letters in wrong places there, buddy. I don't think it was a syllable issue at all. But
we'll be known moving forward as the UTSA kid.
The UTSA D lineman. Let's call him Kenny O for now. Kenny O, that's a cool nickname.
I think the more I watch him, the more I think about him, more excited. I think he has sky high potential. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, but we'll see how that room ends up coming together. But when you have David Stone, and I know Jaden Jackson had another surgery, but like when you have those two guys as your foundational pieces, you're feeling pretty good about things. But there's no doubt the depth behind them. Guys got to develop. Guys got to get better. The level of play has to improve and has to increase. And we'll see how that group of young guys reacts to that pressure.
Yep, I agree.
Let's get to another guy. We have not talked about the Western Kentucky alignment, have we?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have. That was early on. Is it Nitta or Nitta?
Nitta, I think.
Caleb in.
The Western Kentucky offensive line.
But let's go with Big Caleb. He is. I went and watched a bunch of him because he plays center, and I was very interested. I've never said this about a player in my life. My comp for him is a garage beer fridge. That's the best way I could put it. Like, dude, he's got some strengths, right? He's reliable, just like the garage beer fridge.
There you go.
Technique, he's actually pretty polished. Good hands, good feet, balance and pass protection. Tough, physical. Plays hard. Once again, garage beer fridge.
Mm-hmm.
But, and it's interesting because he actually held up better against LSU than he did some of the other G5 teams he played against, which I thought was interesting. But I think he's a limited athlete. I don't think that. I know that just by watching him. Doesn't have a bunch of length. So personally, I think some people may think, hey, he's a guy that can be kind of that swing guy in the interior. I think he's the center only, personally. I think if you have to play him at guard, you're not in a situation you want to be in. Because he just doesn't have the size and length you need to play at a high level in the SEC at guard, in my opinion. Now, maybe he ends up proving me wrong, but I view him as Michaela insurance. Like, if something happens to Michaela, you've got Big Caleb to step in, a guy that's played football, a guy that will know what to do, but I view him as kind of like a backup center. Now, maybe his ceiling ends up being higher than that. Maybe he gets a lot better under Beadenbow. I don't know. But with what I saw from him at Western Kentucky, that's what I see. I see a guy that's your backup center. That's kind of his ceiling.
Yeah. Which we need, right?
No doubt.
We've shown over the last couple of years that a good backup center can get you out of a jam in a hurry, whether you got to move some different guys around to play some different spots or whatever it is. A very important facet of the offense to be able to have some good quality depth that can get you out of a bind, get you out of a jam. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really interested to see, number one, Michaela, is he going to be able to take that next step I know he had the illness or, the situation there at the end of the year. And I don't know how long the road back from that is going to be for him. I think he lost a lot of weight and everything. So hopefully he's able to build back up and have some real improvement coming into next year. Cause he there's quite a bit of room for Michael to grow as a player. Right. So, I think that you're going to have guys in different roles that can come in and fill some spots for you. And it's difficult. We don't have Fabechi where you could just slide over your best offensive lineman to play center for you, in a bind like we had a year ago. So someone's going to have to develop into that role.
Yeah. And if Caleb Nitta, there's two things he needs to do. When you look at his physical profile as a player, if you're going to be a squatty center that doesn't have a lot of length, you got to do two things. Number one, you got to be the ultimate technician. Hands, feet, hat placement, like all this stuff. You have to be completely dialed in. Hand usage, like all the tricks of the trade. Like when you're blocking the run, when you're a short arm guy, you don't keep people extended. You pull them in and you smell their breath, Ted. That's what you do when you're a short arm guy. You you try to put people in jail. You don't play at a distance. You put people in jail when you're a short arm guy. So you got to be the ultimate technician if you're Caleb. And dude, there's no other way to say it. You got to get strong as hell. Mm-hmm. If you are short and don't have a bunch of length, then you're playing a bunch of long arm defensive tackles. There's only one way to solve that problem. I am stronger than you are. That's football, man. That's football for the short arm center.
No doubt. When you go to push that beer fridge across the garage, it needs to tear the concrete up as you're sliding it, right? Can't be on skates.
No, you got to get your buddies over, right? You got to get some help to move the garage beer fridge. That's right. That's what he needs to do. He needs to be a technician, and he's just got to be really, really strong. So I view him just as the backup center. We'll see. My hope is that he becomes really, really good under Bedenbaugh and develops into a much better player. But with what I've seen so far, I like the toughness, I like the physicality, I like the technique, but the athletic limitations are they're there and they're obvious, Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with it. We got to get some good development there, and kind of like I said about the defensive line group, hopefully you're able to step up and pretty quickly gain some parts to your game that were missing before, as you step up in competition. He's going to be getting some good work in practice, blocking, some of those big bodies and everything. So hopefully he rises to the level pretty quickly.
He was on the ground quite a bit at Western Kentucky. You better figure that out against the defensive tackles you're going to be blocking in spring ball.
Yeah.
So it's there's work to be done. Now we'll see. I expect him to improve, but we'll see what he becomes. I will clearly have a close eye on it. Let's hit one more guy. We have not talked about Lloyd Avant, have we?
No.
I lose track, but
no, we haven't.
Colorado State running back Avant. This is where we need a pronunciation guide immediately for the transfer guys.
I'm going Avant.
Avant sounds cooler, right?
It flows off the tongue a little bit better with Lloyd Avant.
Lloyd Avant. It just sounds better. Not Lloyd Avant. They both sound good. But 5'10", 200 pounds, looking at his production in 2025, 90 carries for 417 yards, 5 touchdowns. Also had 24 catches for 261 and a touchdown. One of the things I like about this guy, Ted, is he does not waste any time once he has the football. And I'm a fan of that. He is decisive with the ball in his hand. He is a one-cut guy. And you go and watch the zone clips of Colorado State. He is a one-cut, hit the whole guy. You go watch the counter clips of Colorado State. He is a one cut, hit the hole type of guy. There is very little dancing with this guy, and he seems to have good timing for those concepts, which are kind of our staple runs in Ben Arbuckle's system. So I like the fact, see hole, hit hole.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of, I don't know what to expect in the running back room. We got a couple of young freshmen coming in that people think very highly of. You got Xavier Robinson and Blaylock coming back. My guess right now is he's a depth rotational piece. We had no depth a year ago, and it hurt us. So that's my first thought. But just kind of the nature of it, I think Blaylock's going to take some nice steps. I think Xavier Robinson, when healthy, has a lot to bring to the table. But I don't think there's any real certainty as to what the running back position is going to look like. I would say that, even though you've got a couple of guys coming back that handled the bulk of the duties for you a year ago, I would say that position is still pretty much open for someone to come and grab it and be the guy, right?
Yeah, and thinking about spring ball, we all saw how banged up Blaylock and Xavier Robinson were at the end of the year. So I'm not entirely sure how much those guys are going to be doing in spring. And I'm not sure how much you want them to be doing in spring. Like, you want to get those guys 100% healthy. So it feels like Lloyd Avant's going to have an opportunity there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have a lot of opportunities in spring practice to show that he can be a guy that deserves to be on the field in the fall. And we'll see if he makes the most of that opportunity or not. One of the things I liked about what he did at Colorado State, I mentioned the being just a one-cut, decisive, let's get downhill type of guy, but they did a lot of two-back stuff at Colorado State, like a lot of 21 personnel. They did some 31 personnel, Ted. So I assume Arbuckle, now that we've got some tight ends, now that maybe we're getting a little more depth in the running back room, I assume Arbuckle's going to want to get to some more 21 in the game plan to open some things up. So I like that he's got experience in that, but I'm assuming a lot here. But I like that I was able to watch a bunch of clips of him getting the ball in those situations, blocking in those situations, in the run game, in pass protection. So that's something that Avant will be comfortable with. He's done it. I do think he's got enough speed. He's not a burner, but I'm more at running back. I'm always more concerned about how the guy operates, like in small spaces, not top end speed. He does seem to finish runs pretty physically for a guy that's not very heavy. Catches it decent out of the backfield. Like there's you can find quite a few clips where you go, okay, I see it. You just have to see that version of him more consistently. And guess what I'm going to say he needs to get better at?
Pass protection.
Pass protection. Blocking. Just like every running back I watch. Needs to get better. That is an area where I would say he does not excel currently. So
hey, if you'd say one thing about our backs, I would say that a lot of them have that's been a problem, but for most guys, they have gotten much better at that whenever they've been here for any duration. I'm with you though on the, trying to open up the offense a little bit and having some more personnel and formation versatility. Because here's the truth. Unless you're Derrick Henry or Adrian Peterson, like to be a really good running back, you've got to be versatile. You got to be good in the handoff game. You need to be capable in like the screen and kind of plays that are designed to get you in it, whether it's a swing screen or an inside screen, plays that are designed for you to attack a certain look on a defense. You got to be good there, and you got to be good in the pass game, whether it's protection or it's running a swing route as an option on a route concept or a check down, to be able to take those easy plays and turn them into potential explosives. I mean, that's where you got to make your presence felt at running back. I guess Xavier Robinson's our closest, but we don't have a guy that you're going to line up 8 yards deep, and say, we're handing it to this guy downhill. Good luck, defense. We haven't been that offense in a long time. So you have to be able to have some real versatility at the running back spot. And like I said, there's plenty of opportunity for anyone, whether it's the incoming freshman or Avant, whoever, to break into that lineup and be a difference maker.
I think he'll have some opportunities to prove what type of player he is in spring.
Yeah.
And it's up to him to come in, absorb the system quickly, and make the most of those opportunities, those reps. I think he'll get in spring ball. Yep. And if he does that, maybe he's a guy that's a true factor. Let's see. Hope.
Yep.
Only time will tell. But there are, when you turn the tape on, there's some good things. Now, there are some bad things. There's some strengths, there's some weaknesses. But if he can become the best version of himself, he's probably a guy that can help you in some areas. But got to make the most of those opportunities and prove it in spring ball.
Yep. Totally agree. It's going to be, the spring is, I would imagine, just kind of the makeup of the football team right now, and health-wise, like you talked, it's going to be a big opportunity for the freshmen that are arriving and a lot of the transfer portal depth piece guys that you're still expecting some development from.
I also, and this is a conversation for another podcast here in maybe a couple months, I do wonder how OU's approach to spring practice is going to continue to evolve under the new system of college football.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
yeah,
once again, different conversation for a different day.
We got a long off season.
No doubt about it. You ready to preview the national title game?
Am I ever?
Let's do it. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
With ice cold beers, great food, and TVs all around, Pub W is the perfect spot to catch OU football and NFL Sundays. Pub W has been voted best happy hour 3 years in a row and serves brunch Saturday and Sunday mornings until 2 p.m. You can enjoy classics like chicken and waffles and their steak breakfast burrito, as well as unique dishes like the Big Country Benedict. Plus, brunch Marys, mimosas, and espresso martinis. Visit pubdub.com to find a location near you. Pub W, good food, good drinks, good people.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
All right, let's preview the college football playoff national championship game, Ted. Miami versus Indiana. It's going to be 6:30 next Monday night. And even though Miami is playing in their home stadium, Indiana is an 8.5-point favorite.
Woo.
I want to start the conversation here. And we'll be able to add, we'll have another episode between now and when this game is played. But Are people cheering for Indiana?
What people? Oklahoma fans or just nationwide?
I would say like the general public, the average college football fan in the United States of America. Do we think people are cheering for Indiana? Like, is that what is happening? Like, people are like, we want the 8.5 point favorite to win it all. Like, is that what is happening?
I I think so.
I'm with you. That's how it feels to me.
It's a compelling story. I think it's just really interesting that it's rare for a school to have have a chance to win their first ever national championship and be a 8.5 point favorite to boot. Like, it's just something you don't see a whole lot in college football. So I think that the story is compelling. Obviously, the quick turnaround, how impressive they've been on the field, and a lot of people. Let's just say how it is. A lot of people hate Miami. you know,
True. It feels like the majority of people are cheering for Indiana.
Indiana hasn't ever been good enough for anyone to hate them.
It's true. I would assume that if Indiana wins this game, which I think they're going to, I would assume the people's opinion of them will start changing next season.
It's kind of already started to some
Slowly.
degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole they're cheating deal is, starting it. But yeah, you have to go do something big before you can have any true haters. And if they win a national championship, welcome to the group. You're going to start acquiring haters.
Yeah. But so you agree. Like, it feels like people are cheering for Indiana to win
I
this
think
game.
so.
Yeah. That's how it feels.
I mean, cheering for or
They're the lesser of two evils.
yeah, well, I think it's more of people are really impressed by what they've done. It's the most interesting story, and it's the lesser of two evils, and it's a reason to watch, to see if they can pull off what the first team to go 16-0 since Yale did it 120 years or whenever that was. So yeah, I think it's just whether you call it cheering for or want to see the conclusion to the story, maybe is the better way.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it. All right, let's kind of dive into the matchup then. My initial thought, like, on the game is Miami has to play clean. Can't have a bunch of penalties. Can't turn the ball over. Can't drop interceptions like they did. Can't miss big plays. Like, Carson Beck can't miss big plays when they're there to be made against Indiana's defense in the passing game. Can't have game management issues. Can't have special teams blunders. Like, you're never going to play perfect, but the Canes need to play as clean as possible. If they do that, then I think this game is very, very interesting because the talent matches up, right? But if they're sloppy, I don't think it'll look like what Indiana did to Oregon, but I think Indiana wins comfortably. If Miami's not, like, if the operation's not buttoned up, if you will.
I agree. I mean, Miami, just because of the talent, is capable of going to win the football game. But with the level of execution you get from Indiana, it's hard for me. Yes, because of the explosive potential that Miami has on their roster, they have a chance to go and beat Indiana, but I do not see a weakness on Indiana's team. They play as a unit in all three phases, and it's really it's kind of the perfect antidote for teams that are built the way Miami is and like big play, explosive teams. I mean, Indiana just grinds you into nothing. There's a difference between being explosive and being desperate, and Indiana makes people desperate. Like Oregon was desperate after the first or the second snap of the game. And that's what they're really good at. And I just there's really something to be said about knowing what you're going to get from a football team game in, game out. And I know Indiana is going to be prepared. They don't do a bunch of crazy stuff that you feel like puts them in a position for big mistakes. It's just consistent, sound football at the highest level for 60 straight minutes. They're not going to give you free first downs and put themselves in a deficit with a bunch of penalties, one of the least penalized teams in the country. They're not going to hand you the football trying to take some chances with it. They have one of the best turnover margins. They don't turn the ball over. They are not going to beat themselves. You have to go out and beat them, which I think makes it very difficult for a team like Miami, who has moments of crazy good play, but there's a lot of risk and chance taking. And like, hopefully we get the bounces type of play that you see from Miami a lot of times. Now, when they're in control of a game and Carson Beck can sit in the pocket and just, see the field, make the smart decision, play with the lead, he's excellent at that. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he's going to be running for his life, playing from behind, and feel like he has to make something happen. And that's whenever Indiana jumps all over you.
It's Indiana's just been so good. It's hard to imagine because I think the key is going to be what can Miami's defense do against Indiana's offense. And it's just hard to imagine with it feels like they're banged up. It's hard to imagine they make this Indiana offense one dimensional. Like, I just don't see them shutting down Hemby and Black in that running game and forcing Mendoza to play in a bunch of third and medium to third and long. Now that's got to be the goal, right? But a big part of me thinks that Miami's defense, they got to take a little more risk in this game. They got to bring some more pressure because we saw them, like when they played straight up, they didn't, I don't think they affected Chambliss as much as the way that they thought they would. I thought Ole Miss's offensive line, for the most part, when it came to pass protection, did a solid job against that group. So maybe I think Miami may bring some more pressure, take a little more risk in the back end. And I know that could be extra risky with what their safety situation is looking like coming into this game. But you can't just sit there and take it, I at some point, I think Miami's got to win the turnover margin in this game to have a solid chance of winning it. And I don't know, we just haven't seen Mendoza get pressured constantly and have to operate in that mode. Now, I think the guy's going to be just fine because he's a machine, but I think Miami's got to be a little more aggressive, a little more risky on defense in this game.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to come up with some big plays to get Indiana out of their rhythm. The problem is Indiana's so good running the football, so physical running the ball. It's just a lot of times that's the easy answer, right? Is just continue to pound the rock and instead of taking big losses on a first or second down drop back, people are going to, try and really press the issue on you. You just go back to what you rely on, run the football, punt it, play defense. I think that they not only are they just really disciplined and how they play on the field, there's no panic there. They're okay playing a 13-10 game, right? They're okay playing in those tough situations. So I'm totally with you. You've got to find a way to create some big plays, whether it's creating a big sack or forcing Mendoza to be under pressure and make a mistake, or like a big return from Malachi Tony on a punt return or something. They've got to find a way to tip the balance into their side, because if it comes down to a rock fight, and I really like Miami's run game and I really like their front seven on defense, but they just don't have the discipline that I've seen from Indiana. But you're right. They're going to have some take some risks to win the game. But that's also what Indiana wants you to do, So the calculated risk, whenever you take them, you better make something happen.
It's very possible that the line of scrimmage in this game is just a wash. And then it comes down to QB play. Which, if you're Indiana and you're sitting there, you go, yeah, we'll take that. We'll take Mendoza first pick. And who can make more accurate big time throws in clutch situations. You're gonna feel good. Indiana's really gonna feel good about however Miami wants to play this game. Which
I know that's what's so crazy about it, right? I mean, usually it's like you take a team like Indiana, it's like they force you into playing their style, but it's like, how do you want to do this, guys?
Well, do it however you want to do it. Now, you mentioned Miami's run game, and there's been a big deal made of how big Miami's offensive line is and how small Indiana's defensive line is. But one thing that I think, Miami should not fall into the trap of, hey, we're just going to run over these guys. Because they're a duo team. It's what they do. But duo, which is just like vertical double teams, a lot of people describe it as a gap scheme with no pullers. It kind of plays into exactly what Indiana wants to do defensively with all the interior twist stuff.
You got to get them doing this.
You read my mind, Ted. In my opinion, if Miami wants to have a bunch of success running the football in this game, they got to run stretch zone. And they have. And Mark Fletcher's good at it. But in my opinion, if they want to find success running the football, they need to get away from all the interior twist stuff that Indiana is excellent at. Their execution of that stuff, making things muddy when it comes to your blocking assignments, they are the best in the country at it along the defensive front. And their backers fit it up perfectly. Those guys can absolutely fly, and they are really good tacklers. So get away from it. Run stretch. Make them move. Miami's going to hit them with duo. It's their play. It's what they do.
Can Miami's O-line get out and run like that?
They're not a great, I don't think you want to get them out there and running a bunch of pin pull and stuff, but the wide zone game, it's looked pretty good for them. And I think that's a better path to success running the football rather than saying, we're tougher, we're bigger, we're going right over the top of you. A bunch of people
State tried to do.
A bunch of people have tried to do that to Indiana. Go watch the Big Ten championship game. Indiana choked the life out of Ohio State's O-line and their tight ends. I mean, just beat them up. So you've got to be diverse in what you do from a run game standpoint if you're the Hurricanes, but I do think attacking the edges a little more and getting away from all the chaos that Indiana creates with what they do with their games inside. I think they need to live in that world more than they live in the duo world.
Yeah.
There may be some people that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to watch In the Weeds, people. We talk about these things, we explain these concepts. So
That's
if you're
right.
confused, start watching the In the Weeds video series on YouTube. We dive into quite a bit of this stuff. But I I think the path to Miami winning, which I feel like it's not a conversation you're hearing very many places right now. I think if Miami is to win the game, the first thing that people need to be talking about after the game is Malachi Tony. I
Yep.
think he's the key for them. I don't think it's a game where you go, oh my gosh, Mark Fletcher ran for 200, or oh my gosh, Carson Beck was surgical. I don't think that's it. I think it's, if Miami's going to win the game, it's Malachi Tony was the best player on the field. That's the path in my mind. It's like he takes a couple of opportunities and creates unbelievable, like, legendary plays. That's what it feels like to me is the path for Miami in this game. Other than that, give me Indiana.
Yeah. I love watching Malachi Tony play, and I I totally agree. Like, when they put him at quarterback or run some of those different unique plays with him, and he can make something happen. I think, they're going to have to hit on a couple of those. The punt return game, like maybe he takes a punt to the house, or like, yeah, he's going to have a special game where, he may have a special game and do some of that and they still lose and we're still talking about him. But uh, to me, that's Carson Beck has to stay upright and Malachi Tony has to do some of his special things, like whether it's reverses or crazy catches or making three or four guys miss on a screen. Like, he's going to have to do some of those crazy things in order for them to win the game. I They're an 8.5 point dog for a reason, right? And in my mind, it ain't enough. So, yeah, there's going to have to be some wild stuff happen. Big plays down the field, going over like, there's not going to be any easy access, big chunk plays you wouldn't imagine for Miami on the regular. So it's going to have to be guys making incredible plays against good sound defense in order to get it done.
One other thing, Indiana's receivers, Becker, Surratt, Cooper, have been borderline like unbelievable in competitive catch situations. And credit to Mendoza for his ball placement on a lot of those situations. It'd be awfully helpful for Miami's cause to go make a play on one of those, you know?
Absolutely.
I feel like we haven't seen that.
No.
We haven't seen, I can't remember the last time, like, in a competitive catch situation, you were like, oh my gosh, that defensive back just took the ball from Indiana's guy. It's like their success rate on it is incredible.
It's been, I mean, you combine Becker at 6'4" with great speed and great ball placement. I mean, the 50-50 balls are like 80-20, you know?
So, and once again, we'll be able to revisit this on Sunday's episode, but you lay in the 8.5 with Indiana?
Yes. I don't know that you can give me a number big enough.
Wow.
I may be wrong.
No, you're kind of
Miami's,
talking me into it. 8.5, it's a huge number,
it is.
but they've been murdering everyone.
It hasn't been close. The closest game that they've played was the Ohio State Big Ten championship, and the score doesn't really indicate what that game looked like watching it. You know, it's like they had them in cuffs the entire football game. And, I just, the consistency, man, I've never seen anything like it. And, I don't know, maybe believing the hype and everyone telling them how good they are, all of a sudden, they lose that edge a little bit. But I have a hard time. Like, that's the only thing I can see. I think they're better in all three phases, and in some of them decidedly so.
Miami is at home, which
May not be a good thing.
That's what I'm saying. I think in this particular situation, may be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Wonder what those guys been doing building up to this game. You know what I mean? A lot of things to do down there in Miami as this game nears. I don't know how many things the Indiana guys are getting into. You know what I'm saying? So now let's choose to believe that both teams have prepared perfectly.
Even in the game, though, like, what do you think the split in the crowd is?
I think there will be more Indiana fans there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If there's one thing, because all these guys that we know that we've had on the pod that are going to these games, they all say the same thing. Indiana took over the building. Indiana took over the building. Indiana took over the building. I'm expecting Indiana fans to take that building over.
Indiana fans have been adding to their bowl and playoff travel funds for 100 years. So it's built up. A lot of these other teams have to burn through it, their fans every season. So yeah, they've stockpiled, and it's so awesome. Rarely do you ever get to recreate something like this, where you have such a meteoric rise out of nowhere, and it takes an entire state, an entire fan base by storm. And you get to, like, an Ohio State team going to the national championship. Like, what percentage of fans are going to go? I mean, they're going to fill the stadium, right? They're diehard fans are going to go, but you just kind of get used to it. Oh, you guys going this year? No, we went last year. Indiana, probably everyone you talk to is like, we're going. We don't know if we're getting tickets, but we're going to be there.
I would assume day of, you're going to get a lot of ticket purchases from people wearing red.
Yep.
I don't know exactly how the ticket market's going to work for this game. I don't think Indiana fans care.
I don't either.
I think they're going, yeah, don't care. We're playing in the national championship game in football. Don't care. I'll spend whatever. I think that's going to be the mentality. I think it'll be pretty close, but I'm expecting like a 60-40 Indiana type crowd.
Maybe you're right.
A lot of things to do in South Beach, man.
It may change during the game as Miami fans go out. You may have Indiana fans coming in.
We'll see. But it's going to be very, very fun. Like this matchup, the setting, like all the storylines going into it. It's kind of everything you want in a national championship game.
It's one of those games where, if you're watching two teams you've seen there a bunch of times, and one team runs away with it and you're not getting a good game, it's not very compelling. But in this case, no matter what the result is, close game, one team on the high side, maybe the other team on the high side, a blowout on either side, it's going to be something worth watching. I feel like no matter what the result is and no matter how it unfolds, it'll be worth sticking around to the end.
And it's not too late, ESPN. Give us the picture-in-picture with Kirk Cinetti. Camera on him constantly. Just do it. Do it.
Oh,
he may not like it, but I don't care if he doesn't like it. I would watch it.
I'm sure they will. Did he glance up at the sky cam in that last game?
He breaks the fourth wall every once in a while. He's We'll talk about it again on Sunday's episode, but
He's
all
like the
sides
most,
point to Indiana.
somehow he was like the most boring guy ever. And it's so awesome to watch.
I
you know,
I think you've talked me into laying that 8.5. I it's just, do I trust Carson Beck and Mario Cristobal in this Miami team to play as clean as you need to play to beat this Indiana team? I think the answer to that is no. So I'll lay the 8.5 with the Hoosiers. It just like team of destiny vibes, right?
and it's not like usually a team of destiny. It's like
There's some
pulled off
lucky
something
stuff.
miraculous. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I can't believe they're still in it. Like it's team of destiny, but somehow the team of destiny's beating the shit out of everyone.
That's
It's very, very
maybe
unique.
team of destiny is not the right term,
No,
because this team has just been better than everyone else all season long. I
the
don't know if
team
you could
of
be.
inevitability.
There you go. Much better. Indiana is inevitable. We'll find out. Find out Monday night.
Yep.
All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. But first, wind, hail, tornadoes, and earthquakes are now year-round threats. And at the same time, homeowners insurance rates in Oklahoma are the highest in the entire country. Unfortunately, some insurance companies use deceptive and bad faith claim handling practices to deny or lower what little they pay out. Fortunately, one of the leading insurance bad faith attorneys in the country is a longtime Sooner and resides here in Oklahoma, Jeff Marr. The Marr Law Firm has represented more victims of tornado, storm, and earthquake damage than anyone in the Sooner State, recovering hundreds of millions of dollars for their clients. There's only one law firm to handle insurance companies, Marr Law Firm. And three things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
The red shirt. I mean, I guess it's still what it is. We've gone from 3 games to 4 games to 9. And I guess it's not totally in yet, but the FBS coaches voted unanimous for a 9-game red shirt. What the hell? What is that?
I don't know. You can play every conference game and still redshirt. I guess my understanding of why they're not going just 5 for 5 is because of all the eligibility cases that are pending currently. Like if they did that, if they gave everyone 5 for 5, then there'd just be, I don't know, it would just open the floodgates for all these guys that are asking for another year of eligibility to get it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but that's kind of how I understand it.
Like you have to grandfather in everyone in college football or something.
Yeah.
It's like the COVID year. So this is like a stair step to get to five to play 5 or something, maybe.
I guess. I don't know.
If it's not, and like basically what you're doing is you're saying the non-conference games are now preseason games, and the starters are going to be standing over on the sideline.
One of the cynical part of me, because we've seen it a lot, right? A guy plays 4 games and he says, "I'm redshirting, I'm out." OU fans, we experienced that. I believe I expressed my frustration on here. But doesn't this set the table for a guy like in November to say, I've played 9 games, but I'm out, guys. I know that our season is on the line. I know that we've got to finish strong, and these are the most critical games of our season, but I've hit the 9 mark. I know we've got the 3 left, but sorry, boys, I'm out. It sets you up for that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people want to look at it and go, oh, you're looking at the worst of it. Yeah, I am. Because it is guaranteed to happen that a key player gets tampered with. Someone talks him into transferring, and maybe he's even a starter type player. And he goes, you know what? I'd like to preserve another year of earning potential. This other school is saying that if I come back to school next year, that they're going to give me $1 million. So yeah, I'm going to go do that. Good luck, guys. And the first guy that does that, I'm going to absolutely loathe, but it's going to happen.
What if you what if you're a team that expects to make the playoff and you get your 8 games in and you get your 4th loss or something? As a football team, do you say we're out? We're not playing our starters. We're tanking, I guess, to keep everyone on our team a year of eligibility. This year doesn't matter. We're punting on this season, and everyone gets another year of eligibility for next year.
It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Is it likely? I don't know. Is it possible? Yep. It just, I don't know. This sets the table for some really weird stuff to happen. It does. Now, I'm glad that this allows coaches to worry less about having to track who's played 4 games, all that type of stuff. Like it should allow you to have more depth on game day.
Yeah, it would be hard to find yourself in a predicament late season to where you have this really tough decision on a guy,
It's like the Auburn quarterback situation. Like that, you would have been able to play Deuce Knight as many times as you needed late in the season. Because it would have been 9 instead of 4. But now I don't know. I just know there's unintended consequences to all these things that college football has changed. And this one is setting the table for something that just everyone looks at and goes, this is so gross. But it is what it is. I mean, whatever.
I think college football it's such a weird thing right now that pretty much every year for the last, I don't know, 6 years, 6, 7 years, you've had such dramatic change every single year, whether it's conference realignment, whether it's COVID year, whether it's NIL or transfer portal or 9 conference games, or we go to the 14 playoff. Now we go to you've had so much change constantly. This redshirt stuff is just another thing that you throw into the mix that everyone kind of hates it, but it's doing better than ever. So it's really hard to, I don't know. It's just such a unique situation that it's made it very difficult for the people involved. But I mean, hell, Gabe, we are a year away. I mean, we are what? We'll be playing football games I know it seems like a long time because the season hasn't even officially ended yet, but we're going to be playing games in 8 months, and we don't know what the championship format's going to be. Like there's so much going on. It's hard to keep up with, but somehow it's made everything more compelling. And like I said, the numbers, the ratings are doing as good or better than ever.
As long as OU continues to play Saturdays in the fall, we're good here. We can complain about the rules all we want. Complain about the portal, NIL,
We'll
complain
let
about the
everyone
playoff
else deal with
structure.
all the fallout from
I,
it.
we'll be fine. We'll we'll keep coming on here talking about what we see in the games, But did did we need to change the redshirt rule from 4 to 9? I don't know, but if this results in teams being able to play more players and have more depth, which then improves the overall product that we get to watch, then yay. Now, is there
It's
going to
just
be there?
funny that it didn't go, it went from 3 to 4, and it was like, oh my gosh, man, everyone's just going to be able to play every single game. We didn't go 4 to 5, we went 4 to 9. And 9 is such an interesting number, right?
I
Because it ties up with the 9 conference games and the 3 non-con games. So, I mean, they didn't just blindly pick 9. There's a reason why everyone agreed unanimously on 9. So fascinating.
yeah. Who do you have as your loser of the week?
I this is not I hate doing this, but it's OU men's hoops, you know? Um and I know it tough spot. We had the 2 road losses, ugly performance against Mississippi State. There was some good stuff, and you gave yourself a chance at A&M. It's going to be hard to win road games in this conference, but you had Florida coming in, uh, opportunity for a top 25 win at home, and Florida brings maybe the best front court in all of college basketball. They're huge, athletic, best rebounding team in the country. You knew it was going to be an uphill battle, and it was. And Florida jumped all over you early, and it was just, outmatched.
60 points in the paint for Florida.
Brutal.
It's hard to win a basketball game when you give up 60 points in the paint. It kind of goes back to what we talk about with football all the time. You want large humans.
Yeah.
Florida's got a lot more large humans. And those large humans dominated the game.
Dominated.
It was the way that first half unfolded was just so deflating, man. Seeing the crowd, lack thereof, everything about it is just, it was really, really deflating,
Yep.
It was, frankly, it's kind of tough to watch. When you combined everything, it's just like, dang, man, this doesn't feel good.
The split screen for me with the Thunder and OU hoops on didn't stay split screen for very long. I
I
hate it.
I I think from a strategic standpoint, now I'm not a basketball X's and O's expert, but I like to think I have like a good basketball common sense, if that makes sense. You were completely outmatched in the front court. We knew that. They knew that going into the game, right? When you look at what Florida's got. So when you know that, you have to play differently than the way that OU played, like especially early in the game. Like they're attacking the rim, they're playing in the paint, and I'm sitting there going, what are we doing?
You shot 63% from 3. You were 10 of 16. How do you not take 35 threes?
That's what I'm saying. When you are completely outmatched in the front court, in college basketball, it's different than the NBA. It's not as spread out. The pace isn't the same. I understand that. But you can't put yourself at just a simple, like, it's math, dude. Going into the game, you know you are going to lose the battle in the paint. You know that math is not going to be on your side. So how do you change the math? You shoot a ton of threes. You got to shoot a ton of threes. And that's where I don't understand how you go into this game in particular, your OU, and say, hey, God, like you have to come in and say, we got to shoot at least 30 threes in order to have a chance to win this game. Because it's not, we are not going to win the battle in the paint. Wagee's in there doing everything he can, man. Hey, Russian guy did some nice things. How about that?
Hey, 17 off the bench, hit 4 threes, couple assists, couple of rebounds in there.
You can't get outmathed.
But I mean that to that point, he hit 4 threes. He's a guy, I mean, play to that and stretch the floor with him on the court a little bit and try and get those big guys away from the basket. So I don't know. I'm with you. And I mean, it's very weird that a center who got here a week ago took 25% of the threes for your football or for your basketball team.
It was funny. Like Carl Ravitch on the call was even like, I don't know why OU's taking it into the paint so much. And I was sitting there going, I agree, Carl. So I know that things like the vibes around OU men's hoops, let's just be real, not good.
Not good.
Right now.
Yeah.
And you got Bama coming to town on Saturday, who is very good again. You start 1-3 in the SEC. They got it. They got to turn it around, and they got to turn it around quickly, man.
Yep.
But man, that was tough. That was tough. And it didn't help that the Spurs were in town. Like I was at the Thunder game. I was not at the OU game. So maybe I'm part of the problem, right? But it is, you got to give the people a reason to show up. And getting blasted the way that they did is not going to get people to show up. And honestly, it's like this. Both problems kind of like feed themselves. Like they're not
like
showing up.
Or the egg deal, know.
Like, it's like
in order to get people to show up, you got to have a great product. But in order to have a great product, you got to have people show up
and have like a home court advantage.
Yep.
And that's just I don't know. It makes me sad, dude, because I love Porter Moser. I love that guy. He's awesome.
I do too.
And there was quite a bit of excitement about what this team could be. I don't think they're bad per se, but it's all about the results, right? And the last week and a half, right? The last week has not gone very well.
No.
Anything else to say other than that?
Women got a big game.
Yeah. Hey, they're fun to watch now.
Yeah.
You know what I know about them? They're going to shoot some threes.
Yeah, they are.
They ain't getting out math, baby. They're going to let them fly.
Yep, that is true. You will not walk away from a game saying, why didn't they shoot more threes?
There needs to be a serious reevaluation. Like when you are overmatched in the front court, you have to shift your thinking. You can't just run your stuff.
And it's crazy because like that was a lot of the reason they went out and got a lot of these guys was to shoot the three, and I don't know. It's just strange. And I don't know, like, it's hard to know like what I would have liked to have been in the conversation there during timeouts and stuff just to see what's going on. I mean, but.
And it's also one of those things where Florida knows they have a huge front court advantage, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to run everyone off the 3-point line. They're going to funnel everything to the giant humans they have in the paint, right? So I'm not saying it's easy to generate a bunch of threes against what Florida was doing, because they're also going, hey, if we don't let them shoot a bunch of threes, we're going to win. But I mean, for lack of a better term, dude, you just got to find a way, right?
Can
So
I ask a dumb question,
sure.
basketball wise? Because I don't know. If you're like a Florida team that's the best rebounding team in the country, does shooting threes, I know the miss percentage is much higher. So, I mean, they're going to have more opportunities for those rebounds. But do the threes help you as a team that's outmatched because you get longer rebounds? Does that make
Yeah,
any sense? What I'm saying at all?
yeah, that's part of it. I mean, but ultimately, this will sound stupid. You get 3 points for that shot. You get 2 points for all the other ones. You know,
No. You usually don't have to ask guys very hard to shoot more threes.
right?
Pretty willing.
And they shot it really well, but they didn't shoot nearly enough when you consider the disadvantage they were at from a size perspective, in my
Yep.
opinion. Now,
Yep.
I'm not a basketball coach, but I know three is greater than two.
Yep.
And you knew the other team was going to get more twos. So I don't know. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, we are Mando Men. This is actually the deodorant both of us use. And new customers can go to shopmando.com and get 20% off site wide and free shipping with our code OK Breakdown. Cheering for your squad is hard work, which makes the deodorant you choose very important. Mando's sweat control deodorant stick stops odor before it starts, and they have great scents like bourbon leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. Mando's starter pack is also perfect for new customers. It comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get 20% off site wide and free shipping on shopmando.com with our code OK Breakdown. That's shopmando.com, code OK Breakdown for 20% off and free shipping for new customers. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. If you're looking for tickets to OU's next game, SeatGeek is where y'all need to go. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Oklahoma Sooners. So all Sooners tickets on SeatGeek are authentic and secure, and every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. So go to SeatGeek.com or download the SeatGeek app and use our code BREAKDOWN10 for 10% off any tickets. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports festivals, and more. The app is extremely easy to use, and SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. And remember, you can use code BREAKDOWN10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code BREAKDOWN10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thanks, SeatGeek. All right, for my winner of the week, give me the Oklahoma City Thunder. Beat the San Antonio Spurs for the first time this season last night. Final score 119-98. And I'll start here, Ted. That's as good as an atmosphere as you're going to find on a Tuesday night in January in the National Basketball Association.
Yeah.
Paycom was ripping for this game, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, you could tell easily watching on television. And I mean, that's really, this matchup's been, other than, hey, the Thunder, are they the best team ever? Conversation that went on early. The only other real topic that there's been is, do they have a Spurs problem? So this matchup was really highlighted. And it's also, I mean, this is a glimpse into the future. I think this is going to be, the rivalry is going to heat back up between these two teams, or it already is.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the rivalry because with the Spurs and Thunder, everyone expected the rivalry to be centered around Chet Holmgren and Wembanyama. Just because of their physical builds, like that whole thing. That is not what is happening. The rivalry that is developing between the Thunder and the Spurs, it's about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
Those two dudes It may just be basketball dislike, but those guys do not like each other. I mean, Shea was barking at him unlike really anything I've ever seen him do. And it was awesome. And Castle is a heck of a player, dude. I think he's going to be a superstar, man. He's awesome. It gives Shea a lot of problems with the way that he's able to guard. But, I mean, Shea got a technical in this game. He never gets a technical. Like, Castle pushed him a little bit, and he pushed him back. Double T. I was like, okay, I like this. But that's the thing. It's not Chet and Wemby. It's Shea and Castle. Like, that's where the rivalry is building. That's the matchup. Like, it's going to be very fun to watch for the foreseeable future, and I am all for it, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want, man. That's what makes a compelling match and good television, good theater whenever you're there in the arena. Pretty wild. I mean, I know, and you've heard Shea and some of the other players' comments about this matchup. And so, yeah, like a rare opportunity to be able to circle one on the schedule that, even though you hear the old phrase all the time, this is just another game. It's not, we're not building up. Like, didn't have that feel at all.
Shea said it after the game. No, this wasn't our Super Bowl. It's just one of 82.
Yeah.
I watch every game, Shea. You don't act like that every game.
Right.
We watch them all. I watch them all. I'm just saying. And I love that. I love that they've got something in the regular season that gets them going like this. I think it's really good for the competitive juices of this team. And one of my big takeaways from the win, this was not a game where the Thunder forced a bunch of Spurs turnovers and we got out in transition and got a bunch of easy baskets. Like, that's not what happened. It was really good to see the Thunder execute at a high level in the half court.
Yeah.
Especially like Wembanyama's out there. That dude has quite the presence
Yep.
on the defensive end when he's out there. And the way that they were able to move the ball and get the Spurs defense moving side to side and make Wembanyama work really hard protecting the rim. Like, I thought it was some of the best ball movements, some of the best offensive flow that we've seen from this team all season long. And honestly, credit to the Spurs for pulling that out from them. It was a lot of fun to watch. And then Shea's just awesome. He took some really difficult shots, but he is awesome. He's
awesome. I thought the bench was great. Big advantage there. Just like, that's the performance that you hope to see and kind of expected to see as a response as the defending champion. Whenever you've taken a couple hits from this team, like, don't let them get a foothold and think they've got something on you. Just quick little reminder.
It was also because, remember, Wembanyama had the ethical hoops quote a while back. It was kind of funny in hindsight, just watching him flop all over the place. It was like, come on, man. Come on. Okay, Mr. Ethical Hoops, get up.
Yeah.
I said that a couple times to him, and he just smiled. I was like, hey, Ethical Hoops, let's pop up. Pretty funny, but it just, the crowd, and it's like the crowd just was getting after him the entire game, like from the jump, boos constantly. It's great, man. It's great for the Thunder to have something like this. It makes these regular season games feel so big, which is, I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it was impressive. Very good performance.
Thunder are now 34-7, 6.5 games ahead of San Antonio and Denver in the West. So sitting pretty. May not set the wins record. Won't set the wins record. Let's be real. But still sitting very pretty for that one seed. My loser of the week. Thought about going with Colorado. Never good when you lose your best player off your team.
No.
I hope Jordan Seaton doesn't go to Texas. He's good.
I know. He's really good.
And
really good.
Allegedly used the creative team there to make a video that was supposed to be for an announcement that he was coming back and use it for an announcement that he was entering the portal. That's dirty work, man. That's dirty, dirty stuff.
Hey,
But
send me those clips over that we recorded. I'm working on something here.
I saw a bunch of people say that the creative team should invoice him for him, which
Yeah.
he should, and then he should pay it in cash because he's about to get a lot of it.
Yeah, he is.
He's been getting a lot of it in Colorado, but he's about to get a whole lot of it
Oh yeah.
from someone.
He's legit.
He got first rounder written all over him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something that I was thinking about when I saw the news. I was like, man, I can't remember the last time I thought about Colorado.
I know. Yep.
Like they
Big
were the
change.
talk of the sport. And then if you don't win, man, you disappear quickly, even if Deion Sanders is your head coach.
Yep.
Like the last time I thought about Colorado was like Deion Sanders' health issues, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been very, like, they were just thrown at us for a couple of years there. And now it's like, oh yeah, what's Colorado? Are they still a thing? No, not still a thing.
And now they're losing their best player.
Yep.
I hope he doesn't go to Texas. Don't do it. Don't do it, Jordan. But my loser of the week, and this is going to sound weird because they're about to play in the national title game on Monday. Give me the U. Who's going to be their quarterback next year, Ted?
I don't know.
I mean, the quarterback portal musical chairs is going on, and no one's sitting in the Miami seat right now. I don't know if that analogy made sense or not, but I'm going to roll with it. You look at the top ranked QBs in the portal. Sam Levitt going to LSU, which is kind of hilarious after how the whole Damon Williams thing played out. But hey, the price is the price, I suppose.
That's right.
So he's going to LSU. Dylan Raiola committed to Oregon. We've got Brennan Sorsby's going to Tech. DJ Lagway is committed to Baylor. I'm not sure that's like a done deal, but it seems like all the reporting says that Miami went hard after Ty Simpson. Like that's where the $6.5 million offer came from.
How about his statement? How awesome was that?
It almost made me cry because it's like, it's what you and I talk about constantly on here.
Yeah.
Money is very, very important. There's no doubt about it in life. And Ty Simpson's about to go probably be a first round draft pick and make a ton of money playing professional football.
Mm-hmm.
But having a place to call home, it's just hard to put a value on, man.
Yep.
And I loved it. He said, if I go to Miami, I go play there, I erase the legacy I built at Alabama.
Yep. Took like being a captain and everything that meant to him, and a big influence on his decision. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I was reading the article, reading the quotes, like getting chills, being like, yes, this kid like gets it. And his dad's a head coach, but like that's got to, I'm sure that has had a huge influence on the way that he views this. But I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
I am a Ty Simpson fan. I have been a Ty Simpson fan.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's no doubt I'm going to be rooting like crazy for that guy to succeed in the NFL after what he said.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand that his situation is it's maybe it's easier to say it from his standpoint than it is from some of the other guys that are, not deciding between 3 million and 2 million. They're deciding between getting starter money and staying and being a rotation. Like, it's not all equal, but it was still, I thought, very cool to see and read that, pump those stories, give us more of those stories, and, make that continue to be a thing that guys see and hear, and maybe helps recognize the importance of, what it can mean to stay somewhere and build a legacy.
It was awesome.
Yep.
I'm with you. Give me more of that. But yeah, I don't know who Miami's going to have as their quarterback next year. They've had so much success the last couple of seasons, right? Carson Beck hasn't played in the national championship game. Now, I don't know if he's been the main reason why. I don't think he has, but he's been really good for him.
He's
They
good
had
for he fits the way that they play really well.
right. They had
Like you
Cam Ward the
need
year before.
he's the solid piece in a lot of, risky stuff that they do, big play potential, but he's been perfect for their fit.
They had Cam Ward the year before. He good. But now you sit here and it's like maybe it was going to be Bo Perbula. He ends up committing to Virginia, which I actually think is a great fit.
Yeah.
People are saying maybe it's USC's Hassan Longstreet coming and being the guy for him next year and being there kind of like long term. I don't know, but Miami has to be sitting there going, hey, we're about to play in the national title game. We would love to know who our quarterback's going to be next year also because
Indiana's got theirs.
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like Miami's had so much success with this portal QB mentality. And right now they're sitting there going, and also on the other side of things, I assume there's a bunch of schools out there that are a little nervous right now going, what happens if Miami comes for our guy?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it is strange that they've had the success that they've had with the portal QBs. They're playing in the national title game, but they don't have their guy lined up for 2026. I don't know. I just find it interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would say this, like and I'm not exactly sure who all for them is going to the NFL and all of that, but if they can continue to build on the offensive line like they have, like it's gonna give them a lot more latitude at the quarterback position than some other places. Where if you don't have the guy, you're going to be in real trouble. Like with that running game that they've developed and how good their offensive line is, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of guys that can have success in that system, but then again, like I don't know what the makeup of that offensive line is going to look like moving forward.
I know this. Figure out your quarterback situation because you want to keep Malachi Tony happy. I know that.
No kidding. And
I know that.
that guy, I don't like to me, like he may be 100% committed to Miami and wants to play his whole career there. I could understand that. Grew up a fan of them, is from that area. I totally understand that. But it's like business malpractice for him to not get in the transfer portal just to see that value.
His representation, all you got to do is you got to talk to Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, like Texas A&M, and just say, hey, this is what they'll give him if we and I'm sure Miami will go, that's great. We'll match that. We'll see you next year. It kind of sucks that this is part of the conversation. I'm going to be real. Like
I know.
he's already like this Miami legend almost. And we're over here going like, if he just flirts with the portal, like that would be the smart thing for him to do. It kind of sucks that we're saying that.
My thought is if I'm at these big programs that are known for paying huge amounts of money, I may have like a conference call and be like, guys, let's auction this thing and run the price up really high and stick it to Miami. Like just have them allocate a massive part of their salary cap to Malachi Tony. We will all work together on this and do our jobs.
You saying that just gave me an idea. After the game on the field, Curt Cignetti should walk up to Malachi Tony and just whisper something in his ear. Just whisper something in his ear, like real subtle. Maybe have it last a little too long to where everyone's like,
The handshake the whisper, the separate, and then the force back in.
Yes, the double.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's like, even if he just says, hey, you're a great player, great job. But you know how the internet does with these things.
Yeah. And then have someone coordinate the Malachi Tony to Indiana. Just stir it up, get the bots going.
That drives the price up.
There you go.
Maybe Malachi Tony's people, they tell him after the game, go talk to Signetti. Go have a chat, just real quick. Just tell him he's incredible. He's done a great job. What he's done is amazing. We just need the optics of you talking to him.
Yeah, hand him a piece of paper. As he's walking into the tunnel, jog up, grab him, turn him, and hand him a piece of paper. And maybe it just says great game on it or whatever, but make some type of transaction there.
I think we would be diabolical NIL agents, dude.
Yeah.
But hey, the system's the system. Game the system,
Massive
right?
coordinated event in front of the public.
I love your idea. The Signetti goes in. He goes with the one whisper, separates, brings him back in. Oh, could you imagine the narrative that would come out of that on Twitter? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
he's got to do it.
Hey, Sig, what did you say to Malachi Tony as you were walking off the field? I'll keep that between us.
It was a private conversation. I'll keep that between us. Would blow up. Miami people would freak out. Indiana people would freak out. We're getting Malachi Tony. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
We are idiots. Birthday shout outs. Happy 15th birthday to Lillian Stone.
Happy 64th birthday to Brian Hammonds.
And on that note, episode 597 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Just so you know, that's going to drop later Sunday night than typical. I have my future brother-in-law's bachelor party.
Hey-o.
He's not a wild man, but
okay.
I'm not sure. I don't think I'm the oldest guy on it, but I think I'm one of the oldest guys on it. So frankly, I'm a little nervous. It's been a while, Ted.
A lot of pressure being the
I
old
am
there.
out of bachelor party shape. I know that. But we'll see how things go. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.